What's up, folks? Oh my goodness, I'm very happy to have this artist on today. Wait till you hear him play. He's ridiculously nice, but okay, I do like the music. But his music is beyond just. He also has an activist component to it. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about his work, and then you're about to hear some amazing piano playing. Go ahead.
Hey, so my name is Rick Delarada, and I started out in New York as a street musician. I had a conservatory training in Boston, but when I met you the other day and I saw all the stuff you were doing, I thought, oh, that's so cool that you work with those cats because. When I first came to Boston, and this will be unique to your show, I'm on so many podcasts now, and you guys will find out as we talk why people are so interested in this story. But basically, I came to New York. I came to visit a friend, and he wanted me to check out the city and the music scene. I was just walking on the street, and I run into a musician who knew me from Boston, and they're like, "Hey, man, what are you doing down here?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm just kind of visiting a friend, just checking it out for a minute." I said, "What are you guys doing?" "Well, we're looking for a keyboard player who has original compositions." It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if like I'm a keyboard player with original compositions, like looking to like maybe come to New York City, and I just walk into something like that. So anyway, one thing leads to another. And so I end up down in New York City. I actually told him, I said, listen, the problem with me is that I stayed in Boston after school. I'm, making a living. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm doing well, and I have a good rent situation. They said, well, what if we find you an apartment? Would you? I said, if you find me a cheap apartment, I'm down here. Well, they found me when it was in Jersey City. So now I'm down here, and I'm like, well, I'll just do whatever it takes to make a living in music. And as soon as I told somebody I had a battery powered keyboard, I started getting calls. And one of the guys was Bob Arkin, who's the brother of the famous actor Alan Arkin. Do you know him from the movies? Yeah. Great actor, famous
No,
actor. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll look
Oh,
it up.
okay. You don't know him. But anyway, your listeners will know him from, I don't know.
Do you remember what movie he was in or something?
Well, something Miss Daisy was one movie I saw.
Driving Miss Daisy?
Yes, Driving Miss Daisy.
Okay. I remember. Yeah.
He played a great role in that movie. But he was in a lot of movies. This is just, one that I happen to see. But Alan Arkin, very well-known actor. And his brother was a street musician in New York City, and he had a permit. So he calls me up. He's like, "Hey, man," he's like, "Okay, I got a gig. It's at it's at Grand Central Station." I said, "Really?" I said, "So we're going to get on the train and go somewhere?" "No, it's right there. So I get there, and then like all of his gigs were underground. I said, "Bob, do you ever work above sea level?" But he did. He had gigs in the park. So anyway, just so you know, I did like a million gigs in the street. While I was, making my way, just through the maze of what it takes to be a creative musician in New York City, where you kind of had to be, and maybe you have to be now too, but you definitely had to come to New York. Was kind of a rite of passage. So I knew I had to come through here, and it was a great experience. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun.
So I actually met you, and now you work on this new program called Jazz for Assange or something. Or what is it called again? Jazz for Peace, but it has a relationship with
basically,
Assange.
yeah. So my organization is called Jazz for Peace. I started it on the morning of 9/11 because I was watching, what happened that day. I was watching the 9/11 thing basically from my roof in the East Village. So I basically had nothing except
that's extremely close to the epicenter of world. Just so you know, it's blocks away. Probably dust was flying over and everything. You probably had your allergies acting up like crazy. You were definitely Little East Side is right there next to the impact zone, blocks away.
You are describing it exactly. I'm glad your listeners are hearing that because you know where that area is. What was your first name?
Well, Ed, but I go by Elf7 because I just prefer DJ or Elf or 7. Or
you go by L what?
Elf7. It's on the screen. Do you see it on?
Yeah,
the
I see that, and I was trying to read it,
DJ
DJ Elf
Elf
7.
7. Yeah,
Okay, Elf 7. Got it.
yeah.
I was just trying to make sure if that was your name right. I'm going. That's cool. All right. So Elf 7. So basically, yeah, you're right. I was in a situation where I was less than a quarter of a mile away with like a luxury box seat, standing on the roof of a 5-floor walk up. So you couldn't get a better bird's eye view of that event than I got. I was tipped off by someone on Wall Street who was a photographer who had taken pictures of me the day before for her portfolio.
You know,
And
I was actually across the river, and I was sneezing like crazy. Like I remember my eyes were watering. If you were right there, like you had to like, well, are all
get
the windows closed? Like I saw that
no,
huge dust cloud. Did that hit
the
you guys?
wind was blowing across the river.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So
across the river, but you didn't have huge clouds of smoke like entering your apartment or
I
something?
didn't, because the
Oh,
wind was
yeah.
blowing that way. You follow
Oh,
me? The
okay.
wind was at my back. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't realize. We had bad air in New York City for months and months and months. A lot of people have injuries. There's all these people that have the lung issues and all that, especially people who work down there. And I did not realize that there was going to be bad air in New York City for weeks and months to come, because there wasn't even bad air in New York City on the day of 9/11. And that's because the wind was blowing the other direction. But once things changed and the wind started, blowing in my direction, plus the fact that it was still smoldering down there, nobody knew that. We didn't know that there was still a fire there days and afterwards. So it was a very bad situation, breathing wise and stuff like that, for many, many weeks and months after that. So anyway, because I saw that, Elf, with my own eyes, I ended up with a poem. The words just came out of me. It was just, like an expression. It was basically a response. It was a response from what I had experienced. That just words just came out, and I called the poem "Jazz for Peace." So basically, I decided, if there's ever a time to walk the walk, I mean, everyone's talking the talk, as but if there was ever time to actually walk the walk, now was it. Because, I'd been noticing the power of music, and how it breaks barriers and brings people together in profoundly positive ways, and all the magical things that the arts and culture does, and music, especially since I was traveling all over the world as a musician. So I decided to try to live up to the words of that poem. And that's what I've been doing every day, which has led me to a situation where, do you know the guitar player, Pat Metheny, jazz guitar player?
Maybe if I heard the music, I'm so sorry, I don't
Yeah.
pronounce it correctly.
Anyway, he's a person. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have said this, but he once said in a recent article that there's like a 25-year lag between when somebody does something, if it really is substantial, and by the time the public catches up to it. Now, I don't know, but all I can tell you is we got to the 20th anniversary of the jazz. Jazz for Peace started on 9/11, and here we were like 20 years later, and all of a sudden podcasting started to take off, and people started to contact me wanting to hear the story of Jazz for Peace,
Well, you're
20 years
extremely
after.
talented musician. I mean, when we hear you play, I mean, I've heard you play some, and it's just amazing. So I don't think it's just 20 years. I think it's also your skill level, right? Yeah.
Well, no, you have a very good point. In fact, maybe we should do something with music, since you're
Just
yeah,
one
maybe
thing
we'll
before we start, you said
okay.
that actually Jazz for Peace is a piece that kind of changes time to time. You are like improvisational, like on the spot artist as well. You said there's backing or something. Maybe you can also Jazz for Peace also has some kind of relationship with Assange. Can you make that clear? What's
Okay,
going on
let
with
me
that?
talk about that. So,
Okay.
here's the deal. Basically, Jazz for Peace is what we do is we believe we are, we believe that the world's problems, can be solved through, what we're doing is redefining peace. So, all these people have played a role in peace, from Gandhi to Martin Luther King to John Coltrane to, all of these great people. I mean, so many of them, John Lennon, you can say lots of people, they've all made a contribution. We're trying to take that baton and go from there. And what we're doing is saying, you can bring peace to the world by promoting the world's most outstanding causes. Because if you promote those outstanding causes, each of those outstanding causes you will be helping not only the cause and the mission that makes the world better, but all the people that mission reaches, And so if you have all of these great things, and a lot of it boils down to a statement I made in an article shortly after 9/11. I was interviewed, and I basically said, if we fill up our souls with creativity, artistry, intellectuality, spirituality, things of that nature, our greatest qualities, we will have a better chance to avoid the behavior that leads to destruction. And that's what we want. We want the best possible chance. That sentence, believe it or not, went viral, and it got taken off of that article, and it's on every single famous quotes website that there is on the planet. So if you type into Google Rick Delarada famous quote, all of that stuff will come up.
All right. And how does your piece today tie into your overall mission, or is it tied to the Assange thing? And also, you said it's a unique piece because you said it's being backed by something. So is each individual performance? I mean, jazz is improvisational often. Is there some unique? Maybe you could just be. I just want to understand the context of what we're about to
let me make sure you do. So here's the thing. Now we get to a situation like one thing leads to another thing to another thing. As you know, when you do something, when you do a profoundly positive thing, it often opens the doors for other things, and vice versa. You do something. I mean, war leads to more war. Peace leads to more peace. So as we were in our journey, doing one thing led to another. We got to a point where all of a sudden I saw my schedule full of podcast interviews where people wanted me to play on the podcast. So what better way to do that than to do a free improvisation that I make up on the spot, completely unique to that podcast, okay? And now, basically, I call it Free JA because I had been to Haiti. I did a concert in Haiti, and there was a big sign there, and it said, "Welcome Jazz for Peace, JASS." And I called up a friend of mine who had a Dixieland band that also used that spelling, and he said, it's true. That's the real spelling. So jazz is a misspelled word itself. And I took the Z's off because they were misspelled. I took the S's off because nobody knows. Now I have Free JA, which relates to Julian Assange. And, the thing about the Julian Assange situation is Jazz for Peace, we have to stand for, we absolutely have to stand for, journalists to do their job, especially if they're reporting on the bombing of innocent civilians. And, I think what people don't realize, a lot of people stand around and do nothing. And, they think, I don't know what they think, but I can tell you right now, if you allow someone to drop a bomb on innocent civilians of any country, any types of people, and then you attack the person who writes about it, right? Guess what's going to happen? You're going to see so many bombs on so many innocent civilians, and no one, because they're going to say, hey, bomb it, because no one's going to write about it. That, we've got that set that no one's going to write. Am I making right?
That's really, you're so right. I'm 100% on board, man. You see it. That's a lot of things people not talking about. That this is they took away the pictures of our suffering. That's how they've actually been able to manufacture consent for these wars ongoing. You see right through it, man. I really appreciate it. I'm completely. I feel like I've been trying to say that for a long time and nobody's been listening. I'm glad that's God's truth right there. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Because see, I'm standing up against what's going to happen. You people don't see the next thing coming. They don't see that. Oh, well, I just thought blah, blah, blah. Everyone thinks, well, I'm okay now. Well, you can surveil me because I don't have anything to hide. No. You don't understand what comes after that, after you lose those privileges and rights. So if this happens, like this person, like the question that just came in, it's a great question. Over 336 journalists in jail. We should be talking about all of them, right? We should be. But here's the thing, okay? We can't even address, uh, we're not addressing these things at all. We're not addressing anything, And I agree with that question that came in. We should absolutely be talking about all of them. All of them. Why are they being jailed? All of this. Okay. These are our rights. Here's the thing: we have freedom of speech rights, and once you lose those rights, good luck getting them back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so hard to
Absolutely. Yeah.
get them back once you've lost them. So you've got to make sure that they don't get taken away in the first place.
I'm on board,
And
man. Yeah.
I'm with that person who sent that question in, every single journalist. But that's one of the things we're standing for with these performances of Free JA. Like I
Yeah.
said, I got to the title simply by saying I'm going to do a free improvisation on every podcast, at least one, and it's going to be unique to that podcast. I'm going to make it up on the spot. And then, since the word jazz is misspelled anyway, I'm going to take those Z's off. And now I have Free JA. And now you have a title that fits what I'm doing,
Well, I'm very excited for this performance. I'm dying to hear it. Let's hear it, man. You're very good. Yeah, I can't wait, man.
Okay. So this one, I'm just going to take, it's just a melody that I came up with on one of the things. I'll start out with that melody, and then I'll just go completely. I don't know what's going to happen.
Go.
We'll soon find out. Free J, Free J today. 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 Free J, Free J today.
That was amazing, man. I want to give that standing ovation right there, man. Yo, honestly, I'm gonna ask some greedy favors in a second. Yeah, just so you know, one thing that I am is also I'm a free data activist. This is actually a list of voter rolls that we've made available to the public. I'm sure there's a lot of hip hop producers that's watching right now, or who watch my show. Would you be willing to maybe open source that performance where they could use that for samples, for beats and stuff like that?
Well, I'd like to, yeah, as long as they contact me first and we work together on it, we can do all kinds of different releases. Let's do it, man. Let's make let's make that little melody go viral and I'll work together. As long as they you know what I mean? Don't like do it in partnership with me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So we can do something that we both are happy with, and
I feel you.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
yeah, it could go, yeah, let's viral it out there.
yeah, I understand. You didn't make that song for people to be twerking on. You came from a deep place, and I understand, right? You want the end product to really be something reflective of,
Well, I'm just saying,
work together.
yeah,
That makes sense. Yeah, like I get that.
yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, if they contact me and says, "Hey, I'm a hip hop, I'm a producer, whatever, and I want to do a free JA release," and
Right.
I work together with them on it, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to
I
put our both
appreciate
of
that.
our foot forward and do something that that we're both. I'll make sure that they're happy, and I'll make sure I'm happy with it, and we'll do it. That'd be great.
Okay, that was amazing. And just I just also want to apply to why we're only talking about Assange. Just so you know, Trotsky Bus Buddy is a friend of the channel. Me personally, I'm a whistleblower myself. I actually whistleblew on things that had happening at Hunter College, and I showed that how there was misspending by administrators, and they took that out on my career. And the thing is that for me, right, yeah, there's a lot of whistleblowers out there. There's a lot of press out there that are, suffering. But Assange is kind of like a figurehead, and if he could get justice, maybe I right, and maybe I believe that I could get justice. If we take right at one whistleblower and we say, you know what, we've made this kind of landmark decision, or whatever, like we've taken this critical case and said whistleblowers will be protected, whistleblowers will not be persecuted, right? That can maybe help things down the chain. So that's just my take on that question for you, Trotsky Bust, once again, friend of the channel. I understand that he has a lot of criticisms of some of the things going on in the activist movement, but that's why I personally support, and that's why Assange gets more focused than some of the other ones. Not that they don't matter as much, but he does have that figurehead capacity and capability, and I'm with it, and I'm all for it. So
Well, and like the person who sent the question in, I mean, what we're standing for with this is journalistic integrity across the board. You know what I mean? Freedom of speech across the board. The protection of innocent civilians during wartime activities or people considering dropping a bomb or doing something of war. Across the board. So, in other words, it's not an individual thing, but it's really a large thing. The things surrounding his situation are are things that we stand for across the board with every single person, and that includes every journalist. Journalist integrity. I mean, I never want. Here's the problem: journalism is going extinct and the mainstream, as you know, because if you're not willing to basically report what you're told, you're not going to get a mainstream job. And so there's going to be no journalists if we don't if we don't allow people to report on what they see and to do their job as it's defined, as journalism is defined.
Yeah. One thing that I just want to mention at this time is that a lot of people that are doing like real work to actually push Assange is actually behind the scenes getting suppressed. Not the thing is that I could try to confront all those things, but let me just try to say how people can help right now. I want to try to stay as positive as I can right now. Dak Rillo, one thing that he did that was very interesting was he actually went to every single presidential candidate, including Bernie and Andrew Yang. I think also, I think every single one of them, including Williamson, and he asked every single one of them if they would support the freedom of Julian Assange. I've also been carrying on this project myself. I have the most candidate interviews in the 22 election cycle, and I've asked every single one of them if they would support the freedom of Julian Assange. That's the first question I asked them. This is continuing on to this day. Another thing that we have is people can run for now there's some people do these vanity runs for governor and mayor and stuff. They can't even win, or they just don't know enough about the political process. I'm not mad at that, right? But there's something called county committee where a lot of important decisions get made that's very winnable and achievable. And once again, we've free open source the data list. We can actually get freedom for Assange if we just work for it. Yeah. And one thing that I noticed that kind of recently was weird was that Rachel Maddow, right? Not that I honestly not a big fan of hers, but I think recently she even made some piece saying that Assange should be freed. It seems like even the mainstream media is starting to pick up a little bit more. I'm always suspicious, but it seems like the freeing Assange is starting to get a little bit more traction. Have you noticed that?
Well, okay, so Elf, this is where I really want to reach out and get this over to your show. See, all these people are fractured, and I see them all. The candidates also, yeah, it's free Assange, free Assange, free Assange. But I've done 100 performances of Free JA. And if you go to Free JA, jazzforpeace.org/freeja100.pdf, you'll see information. And there's also an article that was done by the Enterprise Zone, did an article. I believe that's in the email that you have. Okay. But there's an article, and basically what they're asking me, what the Enterprise Zone asked me was, what is it that you're most grateful for? And I said, I am most grateful at the people who really are who they say they are. Okay. And here's where I think the opportunity is for Jazz for Peace right now. When you've done 100, because I never thought I'd make it to 100 performances, Today I believe is the 111th performance. So who the hell knows where this is going? Hopefully many more today after today with some of your outreach or whatever. We'll keep it going. But I never thought I would make it to 100. I mean, that's a milestone. It's not easy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's not easy to do 100 performances of anything. And now I feel like I have a chance to unite all the people that really are who they say they are. If you really believe in, this, and you're not just, using it as posturing or whatever, as you alluded to it correctly, I believe you said, you're talking to people and you're not really sure, because I'm not really sure either. I want to see these people come together behind these 100 performances. I want to see all of these people that really are who they say they are. Just do the right thing. Just do the common sense thing and say, hey, something, their own words. Okay. Congratulations on those 100 performances, or keep going, or whatever it is in their mind, but acknowledge that so that we can bring you all together. Because I think what people don't realize is I don't know anybody that doesn't want Assange, that's against Assange. I don't know anybody. Yet when you look in the article, you see the United States of America against Julian Assange. Well, I'm here in the United States. This is a country for the people, by the people. You're in the we're both in the United States. And when we walk outside, we don't see anybody who wants him, extradited or all this stuff. Nobody wants it. In fact, we want the opposite. We want our freedoms back,
I'm dropping, also, if you could drop, I think you said something about jazzforpeace.org, something about free 100
Free JA 100.
Okay. Because I was literally looking that up because I want to contact those other people that you had shows with so we can work together to actually get some critical mass. I'm already completely on board. While you were talking, I was trying to find it. Free
Great.
100. That's
Great.
exactly what I'm all
Free
about. Free
JA.
100.
So there's one that's freeja.pdf. Freeja.pdf. That's a simple one. If you go to jazzforpeace.org/freeja.pdf, you will see the 111 and 110 performances that we've already had.
Cool.
Or
Okay.
however many it is, and you'll see
Yeah.
all the names of all of the podcasts, and like I said, these are
Great.
podcasts that were interviewing me about the story of Jazz for Peace and wanted me to perform, wanted me to play whatever I wanted. So I decided to use that opportunity to do these free improvisations like you just heard me do now, everyone being unique so that people could go from one to another and not hear the same thing, hear something entirely unique, and also title them all as, Free JA number 1, number 2, number 3. And now I'm over 100, and it's an opportunity for everybody to come together and say, because when we had our benefit concert series, we started helping outstanding causes. And after we hit certain milestones, people who, wanted to be who they said they were decided, hey, I'm going to come out and make a statement here. I'm going to get, so I got a letter from Michael Bloomberg after the 250th one that basically said, hey, I've been watching this. It's incredible. It's amazing.
250th what? Because right now
250th benefit concert. So
benefit concert. Okay.
Jazz for Peace started out as a benefit concert series, an instrument donation program, and an educational services for kids. So
are you a not-for-profit?
Yes.
Okay. I also want to ask quick. You said that you actually went to Haiti. How did you end up in Haiti?
Okay, so great question. Basically, here's what happened. We started playing little shows. I started out with a poem, as you know, on 9/11. I got nothing but a poem. Okay, what am I going to do with this freaking poem? Well, 2 weeks later, the everything opened up. Everything was closed down. You couldn't fly planes, all that stuff. When they finally opened the country back up again, I had to play at a jazz festival in Savannah, Georgia, alluding to your point that I was able to use my, career, my career as a jazz artist, my abilities as, an advanced musician and all that, all to the benefit of all this. So now I have a gig as a headliner at the Savannah Jazz Festival in Savannah, Georgia. There's going to be 8,500 people there, and I'm the headliner act. So awesome. Guess what? I'm staring at this poem, and now I'm hearing that we're opening the country up, and you got to get on this plane. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to recite the poem, right? So I got to go in front of 8,000 people and recite a poem, okay? An opportunity that poor Edgar Allan Poe never had in his lifetime, right? Or all these great poets. I mean, they should have come out. I figured they'd be churning in their graves watching me sitting here with one poem and 8,500 people ready to listen to it, right? But what are you going to do? I wrote a poem, I had it, and here was my chance to recite it. So I recited the poem. That resonated. And when I had my next concert a few weeks later in upstate New York, they were calling me, interviewing me. They wanted to hear the poem. They wanted to know if the poem was going to be put to music. Well, the fact that they wanted to know, obviously they're putting that in my head. That obviously became the next, the next thing to do. The next thing to do was put the poem to music. So now I started out the next concert with Jazz for Peace with my quartet. We performed the Jazz for Peace. That's the very first thing. It was like I recited it over music. That came out in the, Delarada starts concert with Jazz for Peace, in the, the articles. So now that starts taking out. At the same time that's taking off, the article from that, the quote, the famous quote is going viral from the preview interview. Now I have the post interview, which is the article, which is the review of the concert. And they're all talking about that I started it out with Jazz for Peace. So now what am I going to do? Well, now I started to play a few concerts around New York City. Next thing I knew, I had a youth hostel, and this comes down to your street thing, because you got to have street smart. It's not a bad idea to be a street musician just to get some street smarts, So I went to a youth hostel on 106th Street called Jazz on the Park. The only reason it was called Jazz on the Park was because the guy's name, I guess he was from, I don't know, Australia, somewhere where the name J-A-Z is a name. Could be in Australia, could be an Australian name. Anyway, I added another Z to his name. And now it was Jazz on the Park with me performing in the basement. You see what I mean? Now I was able to do concerts to help outstanding causes all over New York City, either at their place, you know, in Queens or the Bronx or Brooklyn, or if the outstanding cause didn't have a place where I could, you know, do the concert for them, we could do it at the basement, in the basement of this youth hostel.
Okay.
Dennis Kucinich.
I saw that picture. Yeah, it's on one of the PDFs. There's a picture of you.
That's him.
Way back in the day.
Back in the day,
way
downstairs in that youth hostel, because we got a call. Hi, is this Jazz for Peace? Yes. Well, we're from the Dennis Kucinich presidential campaign. He was in the same situation as Kennedy and Williamson then. He was running for president. And guess what he wanted to do when he came to New York City? Go to a Jazz for Peace concert. He didn't know it was in a youth hostel, you know? And what am I going to do? I like, yeah, come here. This is it. It's a smelly, you know, dingy, but that's where I'm at. So we kept going and we just kept helping outstanding causes. And finally, we got a letter from the mayor that said, hey, you know, like, don't even consider the possibility that I don't think this is incredible, you know? So he thought it was amazing. He gave me, then I was like, you know what happens? This is from the 250th milestone. What happens on the 500th? Well, on the 500th, I did get one from Barack Obama.
The mayor came out and supported Julian Assange event?
No, these are Jazz for Peace benefit concert series.
Okay.
All of these back in the day. Julian Assange hadn't even been arrested.
Okay. My mistake. Okay.
Yeah. This is back in like 2004. You follow me?
My mistake. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, the timeline.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that every time I hit a milestone, the 100th benefit concert, I noticed that somebody would come out of the woodwork. You know what I mean? Then the 200th, then the 300th, you know? When I had 800 benefit concerts, people started, you know, sending letters to us from like the Prime Minister of Kenya. You see what I'm saying? So we have piles of letters from world leaders that think it is absolutely wonderful to use the art form of jazz to help our world's greatest causes. So all I'm doing now is, instead of doing what we already did for us, I'm doing what we already did for the Assange, not only Assange, but all of the things that his incarceration represents. You see what I mean?
Okay.
So now that we've hit 100, in my opinion, if you're really for Julian Assange, hey man, speak up and say something about this 100th milestone that Jazz for Peace has reached with these performances. Let us know your thoughts. It could be a sentence. It could be and as you saw, I think you saw what John Kiriakou already said, right?
I know John Kiriakou, but what did he say about? He said a lot of things, right? What did he say?
Are you able to get to that email I sent you? It should be on there.
Let me take a look.
I really hope it is.
Load that up. It probably is. Let me take a look. I'm sorry to say, but I actually subscribe to every email list so I can know what's going on. And that means, where the hell was your email? Oh, it gets buried. Like I get so many emails. Oh, this is crazy.
Oh, wow. Can you do a search for my name or something?
But Rick. Okay, let me see.
I think it was only yesterday, but you probably had so many emails since then, right?
Oh, this is crazy.
Wow.
Hundreds at least.
Wow.
Every candidate that I interview, right, and I've had over hundreds of them, right? Yeah. I sign up for their mailing list.
Okay.
You know, I get stuff from Amy Klobuchar. I really not like Amy Klobuchar. Every time I look at Amy Klobuchar's email, I'm laughing my ass. I'm like, this is whack. But I'm still getting them. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking at maybe Jazz.
Because I think I have his. See, I got all these papers around here. I have it somewhere. I'm sure I do. Let's see what I got.
I don't see it at the moment, but I did have other questions. So you got some pretty big stages, and so the Haiti thing was not about the Julian Assange thing. You got there.
So leading to Haiti, okay. Eventually, we started to perform outside of New York City. Is my point. After doing hundreds of them, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we started to go all across the United States, And
Was
like I
there a
said,
certain
when we
company
got
that booked you, or was it certain? Would you guys go independently, or some?
no, no,
Oh,
no.
you were
Here's
booked,
what
right?
we do.
Okay,
Basically, if you are an outstanding cause, okay,
okay.
and you are in need of funds, publicity and awareness, sponsors, new and
Oh, that's
prestige,
me.
well, that's you. So you should be looking at what we do.
I
We
am. I can't wait. I'm listening right now. I'm like, sing. I'm like, what?
well,
About to drop it on me. Go ahead.
yes. You might want to go to jazzforpeace.wordpress.com. Jazzforpeace.org is our website. That's cool. But jazzforpeace.wordpress.com is where we have a lot of information on what Jazz for Peace provides, how we do it, all that stuff. Because yeah, go to that and you should be able to see basically that Jazz for Peace, we do a lot of things as part of our benefit. So this concert, what it does is it helps an outstanding cause uh, be more publicized. Okay, so they're more well known after this event. They're more well known. They're more befriended. We're able to get all of their supporters together and expand their donor base. We're able to bring in new and prestigious supporters to their
Sure. Okay.
cause. Okay, um, provide publicity and awareness, and raise funds.
Okay.
All of those things.
I did want to ask something that actually does remind me of something else I want to ask. I do like a lot of this project. I just have some questions about it though. I just want to help knock those down. So I did see you also have some type of like NFT thing going on. What's that all about?
We do. So basically, uh, we've been to listen. We've been all
Just so
over.
you,
We've done
yeah.
over 850 benefit concerts for the most outstanding causes. Africa alone, we've been 9 times to Africa. So
Cool.
a few weeks ago, we got a call from some of the musicians that I play with in Africa, in Kenya, and they said, "Rick, is there anything you can do?" You might see under fall 23, our first music NFT.
Okay.
You can go to the fall 23, go to the bottom, click on that, and you'll basically see they said there's stuff. You're right. Go to that link, go to the bottom, and basically you'll see that when you click on it, it goes to an NFT where you can read about these musicians contacting me and saying, can you please get the word out? And I said, what's going on? And they said, the government's firing on the citizens and nobody's reporting it. Again, back to the nobody reporting. You see what I'm saying? What they want to do is they want to cut off, they want to attack the reporters so that they don't report. You see? And then when they do that, we don't know what's going on. So they can do anything. Anybody can do anything they want, and we'll never find out about it because nobody will report on it.
Okay.
So you'll see them telling me in that NFT, you go to that NFT. And
What is the NFT performance?
Well, when you click on that link, you'll see that I actually perform a version of Free JA.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. There's a little video here.
Yeah, because you can do music with NFTs.
Oh, cool. You're skiing or something or snowboarding. Yeah.
It
Cool.
shows me skiing. Well, what that is that's my famous quote. And what that mountain did was the lift. They knew I was skiing there, and they wanted to feature my famous quote, so they put it up on a sign for all the people on the lift, getting on the lift.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's in Utah.
Cool. Yeah. Your music is outstanding.
Thanks.
Cool.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, Jazz for Peace. So the music is really what got us to all of these areas. It was the music that got me to the point where I knew that the power of music in the first place, so I could write the poem. And then it was the things I did with my career and the success I had that enabled the United Nations to say, okay, you can do this concert with Israeli, Palestinian, and American jazz musicians, which I did a year after 9/11.
Very cool. All right.
And
cool.
then started the benefit concert series. And
they should have had you playing before that RFK event. You could have been Well, they probably should have paid
Right.
you, right, if they did, but that would have been cool, right? Yeah,
That would have been cool. And that's my whole point. You know what I
they
mean?
didn't start for an hour. There was an hour while people were just milling around. They could have had some music going.
That would have been perfect. That would have,
That,
but see, that's
maybe
why
for the
I'm
next one. Go ahead.
saying that now is the chance for everyone to really be who they say they are. You know, if they had known about my 100th milestone performance, right, and they had
Right.
said something to us, which I'm trying to get them to do, then that synergy could have started where we could have said, oh, you have this event coming up. Maybe at the event we can do the 112th performance of Free JA. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'll give you another example. Chris Hedges is doing something next Saturday
It's cool. Yeah.
with and what is it? Credico, something Credico. Do you know who that
Randy
guy is?
Credico. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So those guys are doing something, but now this is I see the look on your face a little bit. So
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. If
yeah.
they're really who they say
I'm not
they
mad.
are,
I'm not mad. Like they may be authentic, but the fact of the matter is that people that out here, like, they have the power to do it. But I'll just be honest with you. I'll just tell you what's happening. The thing is that there's people out here, like I told you, I've contacted over 100 candidates, right? Actually, maybe easily more than that, right? To ask them about freeing Assange.
right.
I've actually even gone to meetings where I'll say like this, right? I have voter data, right? We can go and mobilize like this, right? Yeah.
Right.
This is all very high quality information, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I've tried to get people to do stuff, but then the people who are attending are more interested in the celebrities. So what happens is actually achieving things gets sidelined. Now, Randy Credico, he may have done some real things with Assange, but I'll be honest with you, I got kicked out, right? Yeah, because they saw me as disposable, and they put in his girlfriend, and now she's speaking events. They also invited Nick Bronner recently to speak at the. They have regular Assange events in New York City. This isn't your beef, but I'll tell you the honest truth is
I appreciate
that
it.
but the honest truth is that I have as the main thing on my channel. There's like a nobody's perfect, so I don't want to just say Randy's all bad. He's not. And honestly, that's a great opportunity. Chris Hedges recently wrote something on Julian Assange. It really caught on. It's helping to spread the word. That's good. But there's certain people out here that is getting chopped down. People who are doing the most work that are actually, maybe there's newscasters who there's a certain Harvey Weinstein type of,
Right.
right, celebrity type of culture that's kind of like,
Right.
you're allowed to be someone you're not.
Right.
Chris Hedges, Randy Credico was directly, hurt me, but that's in the end, it's really about Assange, and I really, if I think that's a good platform to be on. Just don't
Well,
forget about
listen,
us. Don't
they
cut me out
haven't.
because
Yeah.
you know what I mean. That's all.
No, but what I'm trying to tell you, because you are onto something so important here. Okay. Um, is this a dog and pony show, or do we really give a shit? You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
know you're somebody who really does, but
yeah.
some of these other people that are getting all this publicity, well, wait a minute.
Some of them
Is
have directly gotten in the way of Assange activism, such as like Nick Brana. I have a video of myself going for more than 200. I went actually 285 days total of consecutive requests to put Assange on the MPP platform. Now he's speaking at Assange events. They're putting people in there who are actually worked against Assange activism. So
right.
that's like, this is really that's Randy Credico didn't do that particular thing, but he did platform Nick Brana because he's buddies with all the other celebs. So it's tough for me to swallow, but don't worry about that. Right? Once again, you're right. I'm not. You should still work with them, but don't stop working with me. That's the whole problem, right?
Well, I'm
They're
on
gonna
board
do
with
their thing,
you.
but thank you, yeah.
Yeah,
But
you have to
work with them
realize
too.
something. You
Work with
have to
them
realize
too. It's
something.
good.
We only got something to this because of the mailing list. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of these people, they haven't contacted Jazz for Peace and said, "Hey, we heard about your 100th milestone." They haven't. Do you know what I mean? Now, the benefit of the doubt is they haven't heard, which is certainly possible. Okay. But at what point do you know about it and stay silent? Well, if you know about it and stay silent, how is Julian Assange's freedom first and foremost?
They're
If
playing
you
a
know
monopoly
about
game, right? Yeah, it's a monopoly game where them and their buddies, right, are the only ones they're going to talk about. They'll let you in, but you better stay to the you better stick to the script and you can't go off of it. Otherwise, you're getting kicked out of there. Even if you're really pushing for real things that can really make a real difference. You know, I mean, it's absurd. So
But
use a
I have to
platform. Yeah.
agree. I have to agree with you 100%.
Thank
Okay,
you.
that
Thank you.
if I seriously do that if one guy is over here, Chris Hedges is over here with his little thing, or I don't want to say Chris, I don't want to say which one, but one guy's over here with his little pod of Free Julian Assange pod, another one's here, another one's here. It's there's no way you're gonna get the job done.
Oh,
There's no wonder it's taking so long.
one thing I want to tell you about is in the 22 election cycle, I got to the Republicans, Independents, Greens, Libertarians, and all the cross-party lines, and unanimously we came with a document called the Unified Plan for 22, where they unanimously all agreed to free Assange. That seems like
Okay.
a significant achievement and a document that could really be used to challenge the party leadership and say, why can't you talk about freeing of Julian Assange? But instead, this information has been suppressed.
I'm telling you, it's like it almost is like you have to wonder, are they almost virtue signaling to the other side by saying, hey, look, see, we're just going to do a little mild thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we're doing a little mild thing so you don't have to worry about us winning. Look at how weak we are.
You're goddamn right. It's actually making it so it eternally fails. Right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Because
think you're right.
most people actually support Assange. Why hasn't this passed yet? It's ridiculous. You ask most people on the street, and you'll see my interviews, right? Most people, there's some cultures that are scared, but most people are supporting. Exactly.
Right. Because it's it's
It's
almost like
obvious. People want to know.
yes,
They don't want to. They don't want to. Who doesn't want to know what's going on?
right. Because once you're captured, there's a big difference between a wild salmon and a salmon in a farm, right? I mean, one of the most nutritious things in the world is the salmon that swims its whole life up the stream that the bear is, trying to get his hands on. You know what I mean? And one of the most toxic things in the world is the same thing, but they put it in polluted water in Vietnam in a Vietnam lake or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't swim anywhere. You know what I mean? It never
There's fish
swims
farms.
upstream or downstream.
Fish farms.
It's fed food pellets from the the polluted Baltic Ocean, where you're not allowed to catch fish, except they catch them to make food pellets to feed those salmon in those polluted waters. Then they take a powder from Monsanto and toss it in there to hold their rancid bodies together before they farm them. So it's one of the most toxic things in the world. And that's the thing. You're taking something beautiful, and once it gets captured, regulatory capture, whatever, it becomes the most toxic. And
yeah. And you know what they do too, which is wild. I saw. Then they take the pens, right? Yeah. Then how they have a natural tendency to swim upstream.
right.
What they'll do is they'll open the pens, let them swim upstream, and call it wild caught salmon. They have no shame. Just they'll take these fish that we just talked about, pumped with all these chemicals, and you're buying them as wild salmon. Oh my.
That's what wild salmon is. No, you're right. I've heard about that. I've read about that. A lot of the wild salmon is simply salmon that was let out of that pack. 5 miles down, they catch it in the stream after it got to be free for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It swims downstream, they catch it, and they call it wild salmon.
Oh my God, these people, their marketing crap.
So that's what's going on here. It's almost like like you want to make a donation. Let's say you want to make a donation to an outstanding cause. One thing Jasper Peace tries to do is, separate the wheat from the chaff and bring out to the forefront the organizations that are actually passionate about making the world better, through their outstanding cause that they're passionate for. And we try to bring them out in hopes that people will support them. But, a lot of people are looking more for themselves. So they're like, okay, I know that Oceana or whatever is captured by BP oil, but when I'll give the money to them anyway. And then those evil people will know that I'm with them, don't come after me. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm with, Like even they know that, you get into these, really sad situations where, it's the thing that you're supposed to be, like the clean air organization in the city is run by this is a subsidiary of the copper smelting company that's polluting the air.
Yeah, I was at that event actually, and they collected thousands of dollars, and I'm asking where did those thousands of dollars go? You know,
You'll find that those people will never contact Jazz for Peace because Jazz for Peace is trying to promote the fact that they are legitimate, and they don't want a spotlight on that because they're afraid of what is going to be uncovered.
oh well, oh well. But I'm very excited to meet you. Very high quality performances. I plan on using that performance maybe in some of my openers and closers. I'm going to make a short. Put that in my street series and expose you to other street artists out here. I don't know if you've seen my street series. I have legends like Larry Wright, the first guy to play 5-gallon drums. He was in Mariah Carey's video. Roger Green actually does roller skates in Michael Jackson videos. So you're gonna be up there with some. And there's other artists that are just very good who are just not really known. So I'm gonna put them.
Well, here's another idea. Maybe we
That's
can
really
get
cool.
together with some of these different producers, and we can do like additional versions of Free JA. Maybe something where they put a beat under me and I blow, I improvise over the top of it. They put a beat under me or something like that. You know what I mean? We put it to a beat, or we come up with put a rap to it, all kinds of stuff, anything, right?
No, let's
Just
do something.
create.
Yeah, in September there's something called a Move to Amend. They're doing something with there's going to be some environmental thing, and they said they had 400,000 people at the last event. Let's just do an impromptu street show and do something for Julian Assange. I would be cool with that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Just keep the movement going, because what happened with the benefit concert series is after we reached 100, we were shocked that we even reached 100, and then it ended up over 850 of the world's most outstanding causes we helped with this benefit concert series. So there's no reason why these performances can't also go viral into the hundreds, maybe even thousands. Who knows?
one other person that I work with is the second longest wrongfully incarcerated man in New York State history. He also plays piano too, so that actually helped him get through prison. I'm sure he would be thrilled to meet you. He loves piano and that type of stuff, and I'm just very excited. I think he's got like actually a wrongfully incarcerated prison tour series coming out, and also political prisoners, right? Actually Mumia Abu-Jamal, there's a guy named Muti who was there when Mumia was brought into prison, and actually they've talked several times, and I could see something. There's some relationship between Mumia Abu-Jamal and Julian Assange, right? Political prisoners and wrongfully convicted. So, I can see some real opportunities for us to really collaborate, right? We also work with Vincent Moda, the first man freed on Philly DNA evidence, and it's a very key swing state. So we could actually bring up the topic of Assange really in a key swing state where these Democrats and Republicans need to win. We saw Vivek recently say that Assange should be freed. A lot of people hope that Trump would free Assange on his last day as president.
That was weird too, right? Why didn't he do that?
We're still waiting. Yeah, like honestly, like Trump supporters, I know some of y'all out there.
But
like,
see, this is where
we're wondering. Yeah, we're wondering. Go ahead.
This is where you could have some really positive synergies, because there are never Trumpers who want Julian Assange released, and there are Trumpers who want Julian Assange released. You know what I mean? That's common ground. People need to look at where there's common ground and unite behind that, because that's where you can really, get somewhere.
Yeah. So we know, people want to believe in a hero, stuff like that, but we know Trump's going to fight the establishment, but unfortunately, this not freeing Julian Assange tells me he's only going to fight the establishment to a point. But once again, right, he's only one man. It requires people like myself, like Rick, and other people that are dedicated to the cause to help give whoever's in office, right, the political, backing to make sure that Julian Assange can be free. So I really appreciate your work, man. You're a heavyweight talent, and I'm really excited to meet you. Yeah, so I think we can get some. Moving forward on this. Trotsky Bus is very skeptical, and I have to agree with that, right? I could understand why you might think that, but once again, if we provide some pressure, I think he buckled to someone else to not free Assange. So, maybe he'll buckle to free Assange. We just got to make that happen.
Listen, I believe that you've got to put the arts, if you want to solve these problems. See, interesting things have been said recently that are just coming out of people's mouths. And one of them was what that guy, Ice Cube, right?
Yeah.
He said he was on a show. I think it was Joe Rogan or some show. I think no, it was Bill Maher. One of them shows he was on the podcast. I think it was Bill Maher, just on sitting talking on his podcast. And he says off the top of his head, kind of like I did the day that my little statement went viral. If we fill our souls up, we'll have a better chance of avoiding the. He just said off the top of his head that the same people that own the rap labels own the prisons.
I was going to ask you about that because of your experience in the music industry. I swear to God, that's on my list right here. Yeah. You have, and you know what? I think that our experience in the music industry and the kind of crap that goes on there kind of helps us to see through the marketing BS that's going on in the political industry for real, man. So you've gotten to be like a higher, like, kind of like around the music label stuff a little bit, right? What do you think about that hip hop stuff, about these theories and stuff?
Well, listen, when hip hop first came out, I used to listen to Grandmaster Flash. I remember being in Boston and in a car, and I'm just like, people wanted me to get out of the car. I'm like, listen, I'm going to get out of the car after I hear this. I got to hear this tune. And it was that Grandmaster Flash thing, don't shoot me because I'm close to the edge or whatever. And I was like, whoa, man, this is an outlet. These people can say what they really believe. They can say what they think. They can, expose the truth in many different, this has some legs. And the next thing I know, every time you hear a promoted rap song, it's, whoa, here is some advice that you can follow and get your ass incarcerated. If you want to get, like, why would these people want to tell me something that if I go out and do it, I'm going to be in jail? And for years, I was like, something really strange. So guess what? That industry became a farm raised. It started out as a wild salmon, right?
Yeah.
But here's what he said. That guy in that interview, he said, man, we knew that the stuff that we really wanted to say, they would basically allow it as filler on the whole when you bought the whole record. But if you wanted to get a single released, you had to make something promoting violence and promoting these things. And then if they liked it, they would release it as a single. But they weren't going to release anything with a positive message as a single. Because they own the goddamn because the prisons had been privatized and they became for-profit entities. And guess what you need if you are a for-profit prisoner? Prisoners. If you're a for-profit prison, you need prisoners. So they're like, hey, get this one out, get that one out. Great. This is gonna really get more inmates in our system. And maybe we'll even be able to lobby for funds to build another prison.
You know what's nuts actually about the Assange case? You know why they didn't release Assange to the United States?
Why?
Because U.S. prisons are too inhumane. England said this.
Wow.
Wow. Our allies said this. This is just, right. It's ridiculous. Yeah, like,
well,
they can't cover it up all the time. They can't cover up the lies all the time. Go ahead.
Look what's going on in, places like San Francisco. I mean, LA's been going on for a while, but it's almost poetic justice what's going on in San Francisco, right? With the drug use and the homeless thing.
I've heard about some of it, but I really don't know so much about that. I'm really too focused on what's going on over here. But I've heard some about like like LA, like homeless encampments. I actually did a recent interview with a former homeless guy who was running for mayor of Oakland. So, but you said where?
Well, they have the most money. The most money budgeted to help homeless people is in San Francisco, and
Yeah.
the
Yep.
most homeless people is there. So in other words, it's like the more money they budget, the more homeless people they get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They create a lot of metrics. You can't believe the numbers. It's all cooked. Yeah. It's all fake.
So
They be trying to
these
justify this.
people are like homeless, shooting up in Silicon Valley on the street. And it's almost starting to look like poetic justice, because Silicon Valley is kind of an interesting situation where, again, you start out as a wild salmon and you could do the greatest things. And then, so if you look at Jazz for Peace, I mean, we're still swimming upstream. That's the difference between us and just about everybody else. I mean, a lot of these Assange people, what we're exposing in this conversation, Elf, is that a lot of the Assange people, I'm wondering if they're really still swimming upstream.
Yeah, there's some weird ties to like Alan Dershowitz and stuff. Yeah.
Listen, if you're not swimming
stuff.
upstream, you are, we shouldn't be surprised that all these years have gone by with no progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
We shouldn't be surprised, because if you're not swimming upstream, there's a very big difference, you know what I mean, to a captured entity. A captured entity is very, very different from one that is still standing for that truth and justice in its purest form.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, that's damn right. So, but we're still out here battling, so let's go, and we'll see how it all shakes out. Yeah.
Well, what we have to do, like I said, I mean, what I've done is I've actually done something. I've actually, walked the walk with these 100 performances. Now I want to see who else is really walking the walk. You, obviously, but who else? You know what I mean? You're in touch with people. If you're in touch with someone who's still swimming upstream, I want to work with them on a performance, on a performance that reaches more people, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I want to get all of the people that are really genuine.
I recommend Dak Rouleau from Overwritten. He's actually New Hampshire. That's like one of the second. That's, I think, one of the earlier states that votes.
Okay.
You have some friends in North Carolina. Let me see if I could set you up with them. And I work with something called an American Union. Also, we're contacting. I also know some Greens. I had some interviews with some candidates. I'm going to throw your stuff to all my people. You're very high quality. And I could see I could see a lot of candidates wanting to use your services. And, that's another, they could, I appreciate your work. Yeah. So,
and I would love for you to learn about the benefit concert series, how it works, because people look at Jazz. How the hell did you, with nothing, with poof, with absolutely nothing, create 850 benefit concerts? Now, I want you to see something. Go to jazzforpeace.wordpress.com/about. Go to that page, and this is going to blow your mind.
I tried to get the WordPress. I wasn't able to get it before.
jazzforpeace.wordpress.com. All right. And then at the top of that, at the top of that, you see there's 1, 2, 3. You can click on 1, which is /about. If you stay where you are and scroll down, you'll see some interesting stuff. What Jazz for Peace does, how we do it.
Oh, wow. You have a grant. Amazing. Cool. Okay.
Yes, my man.
Oh, my God. Yo, I'm so lucky. What is this? Oh, my God.
Right.
All right. And I'm into music. Cool. Okay.
Can you believe, though, after 22 years, a person of your quality is finding out about this now for the first time? That's how captured we are by, whatever it is.
A lot of the people are going to be, I mean, I see some cool names here, like, I guess, well, not like how cool are they, but Herbie Hancock's cool. Yeah. But then, I see Hillary Clinton here. People are not going to like that, but, I mean,
right. But let's talk about that.
Yeah, I wanted to say my own thing, right? The thing is that, right, the people who are rich get to eat normal food. But the people who are down on the ground, we have to eat. Sometimes we don't get like normal nutritious food where everything's good. Sometimes you got to work with what you're given. And the fact of the matter is that if you have an opportunity, that's also like honestly, that was in the back of my mind when I was thinking about Haiti. I was like, which organization brought him down, because I know like there's a lot of predatory organizations that were in Haiti doing things, but
Can you
sometimes that's just a way for you to get down there yourself to see what's going on the ground, and just being someone who's a little guy trying to make it work together, you don't get to have you get the access that you deserve, and the fact of the matter is that you had to coming up from nothing. If you guys not supporting activists that's doing the real work,
I
then they
want you
have
to
to find
see,
anything they can to make it work.
can
But
you
yeah,
do that command F or something where it goes to search and type in just a number to search a word?
sure.
Just type what is it? It's I believe it's command F, right?
Yeah. I'll
All
look
right.
for what do you
Then
find?
type in Haiti and go down to the testimonial. You
Okay. I do see that. Yeah. Wazine, Lakeya
yeah, go
Safety,
below him. Do it
um,
again.
Marcel Jean,
Yes.
the Scholarship
That's the
Association.
person. This is the thing. I want to talk about this
Oh,
stuff.
you have a video with someone actually Haitian. See, that's what, yeah, talking to little people, talking to actual people, not just hobnobbing with the celebrities. And I saw you playing soccer and some other pictures. You were much younger there. I can
Right.
see that you have a body of work. You didn't just start yesterday. You're determined in this. So either way, right? Yeah, you're going to be someone who's going to keep working on this. So you're probably keep working on the future. We got to find a way to work together. And in the end, those who really want the stuff to get done, I'm completely on board with that. I like
Here's
this.
the
Yeah.
thing. You have to realize something, okay?
Okay.
For somebody to look at Jazz for Peace and say, because Hillary Clinton, if you read her letter, she came on board because she heard that I did 500 benefit concerts, so that's a milestone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
B, I was doing a concert in her jurisdiction because she was a senator of New York State.
Yeah.
So she had to come on as a public servant. You see what I mean? Because
Right.
if you're an elected official and there's a Jazz for Peace concert in your jurisdiction and you
Yeah.
just sit there and say nothing, okay? You're not even fulfilling your duties as a public servant to the community.
Yeah, I understand why people will be nervous, but then also you got to remember that Hillary Clinton, there's no way she's going to really be supporting like Assange. Like she's definitely afraid of him. So, yeah,
But
it's a
here's the
mixed bag.
thing.
But yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing. Maybe we have a little bit of a better chance with the fact that Jazz for Peace is supporting Assange and Hillary isn't, with the fact that Hillary at least supports Jazz for Peace.
We'll see how we
Maybe.
can push it forward.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay.
Here's an important thing to keep in mind, okay? You wouldn't throw out veganism just because someone
Hillary
you
Clinton's a
didn't
vegan.
like
Yeah,
Adolf Hitler was a vegan.
that's
Do you know what I
true.
mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So, you can't, this is how they trip us up. They trip
Yeah.
us up by saying, oh, they want to divide us. So there's
Yeah.
see, you don't like that person. See, that person likes Jazz for Peace, but you don't like them, right? So therefore you don't like Jazz for Peace. That's the opposite of, you know what I mean? That's the opposite of reality. Reality is
it's
the
tough to put it
two
all
of
together.
you,
Yeah.
even though you don't get along in many issues, share common ground in that you both believe, or at least have come out and said you believe, that helping the world's outstanding causes is a darn good idea.
Well, let's see how we can work together. I do see some potential here. I see some concerns, but once again, you are saying some things that people that are more experienced in the realm really more honest say. So we'll see where it all goes. But I'm still excited. Yeah, you're
Yeah, you
you're
can
a
now
great talent. And
if you
both
just
sides recognize that.
if you scroll up and down where that Haiti thing is. By the way, there's videos you can see of me in Haiti.
Okay.
You can watch the videos, but you can scroll up and down. You'll see hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. Those are all the organizations in their own words. And that guy, Marcel Jean, he's just got a little scholarship fund for Haitian kids.
Respect, man. Cool.
In fact, I got to tell you something. Nobody believed that I was coming there to help him. Nobody. So when I showed up in Haiti, I had no interviews. I had no TV shows. I had no radio shows. I had no press. I had nothing. Okay. Yeah. Because no one believed I was going to come and help this guy, because they were looking for that captured situation. You know what I mean? You're coming for the land grab or the, whatever they're looking for. No one believed I was sincerely coming to help kids like this. So here's what happened. The very first day after I arrived, they took me in a truck with about 13 other people in the back of a truck, and they drove me from one place to another place to another place. They brought me in, sat me in a chair, brought the proprietor out, and pointed to me. And when they did that, the guy gave him a date. And then they did it over and over and over. And I said, what is it you guys are doing? How come you're doing this over and over? They said, because these are all TV stations, radio stations. And I said, well, why are you doing it? They said, because they would not give you an interview until they saw you in the flesh, because they did not believe that you were coming to help us.
You know, it can be very dangerous, right, to go into third world situations. You can get kidnapped, stuff like that. But sometimes, right, a lane opens, and sometimes you're just there and you do something. And hey, man, either way, I'm excited to meet you, and I'm excited to. I think that you have a lot of, once again, a very high potential. I do plan on working with you for some future projects, and I congratulate your work here, man. It's significant. So there's definitely work went into this. There's no question about it. Yeah, and people who work hard to get things done, we got to negotiate to work things in the end. And you look like an incredible resource. I really like your website too, and how you have all these PDFs to try to help guide people. I'm not sure that we see everything exactly the same, but that's good. Once again, respect to your work. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, the things that we've done, a lot of them take like a day just to talk about, whether it's
Yeah, I know.
Rwanda,
Yeah.
Pakistan. I mean, if you want to talk danger, Pakistan, there's all kinds of wild stuff that we've done to try to, be who we say we are, be who we really say we are.
Hey, respect, man. Sometimes we get lucky. I mean, it's all good though. Yeah. So, it's good though. Yeah. Your music is excellent. So I would see a lot of people, I know how sometimes, opportunities come your way. So it's good, man. And congratulations, man. And thank you for your work. Yeah. You don't have to be doing any of this, but you are. And, you're making your art more functional. You're making it actually impact the world on a deeper level. I mean, or one that impacts other people's lives. And, music touches people in many different ways, but I think I'm really thankful for your political work and aspect of your work.
Well, it just naturally led to an opportunity. I mean, it's not easy to get yourself in a position where you can do something to help somebody. It's not easy to do. And just from my journey, I found myself in a position with this situation where I could say, you know what? I see all these people just bouncing around. I don't know what they're doing, but this guy is not getting released. He's been year after year after year. I am going to do something with all of these interviews and just play one piece and see what happens. And, now we've made it past 100, and now I want to see what comes next. I don't know. Hopefully something that unifies people together so that, we can actually make sure that we don't lose these rights that are practically lost already. You know what I mean? It's like, it's such
I don't want to hold you all day, but I do have 2 more questions about your music.
Okay.
Because, just being a musician myself, right? Yeah. Now, you said that you're a jazz player, but there's many different types of jazz. How would you define your jazz style? Or is there? Yeah.
Well, the reason
go ahead.
Yeah, when I first came to New York, my strategy just to survive as a musician was to play every kind of music, and then including jazz, play all styles of jazz, and be able to just use my skills,
Right.
But what happened was I ended up in a situation where someone could hear me play, and they wouldn't hear all the 3 things that I do. One thing that I am is a composer. Another thing I am is an instrumentalist, and another thing I am is a vocalist. So by putting those 3 together, I was able to do something like you saw in that example, where you heard me, in a compositional setting, improvising, creating the music. You also heard me in an instrumental setting, doing all that stuff that you heard. And then you also heard me in, using my voice, to enhance the performance. So I have no prejudice at all when it comes to jazz styles. I like them all. I like to swing with the old timers. I like to get, into grooves with the young people, whatever it is. But I think one could safely say that I am looking to take the music forward, because jazz is something that it's an incredible pool of contribution, and you can swim in that pool of contribution your whole life easily. You know what I mean? But I feel like someone's got to take this music forward.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, progressing the art form. That's cool, man. Also, it's kind of funny because my next question asked about your influences, right? Yeah. Right. You said that you're an instrumentalist, right? Like, so Mingus is known as a composer to some extent, and also known for using flat fingers and stuff, right? When he plays the piano, like a different style. Is there someone who's so, or as a singer, right? You said you're like three different aspects. Who's really influential to your style or right instrumentalism or whatever your art?
I once did a thesis when I was in high school on the great pianist Art Tatum. Art Tatum, a great old timer jazz pianist. And in that research about him to write that thesis, he made a statement. He said he never heard a pianist he couldn't learn something from. So I always feel like I could learn something off of some, even if nothing he does is anything I would specifically want to. He might have one little thing, a little voicing, a little this, a little that I'm like, wow, that I could learn something from. So I really just try to keep an open mind and kind of let the cream rise to the top. Try to capture the best information and then personalize it. I like to personalize things. I like to take a concept and make it my own. You know what I mean? A certain type of a stylistic technique, whether it could be bebop or it could be post bebop, but kind of internalize it and then do it in a way that's kind of unique. So I'm hoping that when someone listens to me, they hear a flavor that's different from, even though they're hearing some of those concepts, they're hearing it in a personalized way that's coming, just from me as an artist.
So just outside of technical style, like if you just had to slap on a record right now, you're just gonna enjoy your day. You just want to slap on a record that you like to listen to, right? Yeah. What would go on, right? It doesn't have just something casual, right? Yeah. What would you slap on? Maybe it would even be some rock and roll. Maybe it would be some, I don't know. What would you slap on this on like into your music?
It could be any style of music. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. So just name. I know like is there anybody like that you could name just one? It could be anybody. I know this doesn't represent your style at all, but just just so we have one at all.
Oh
It
man.
could even be fun. Someone sounds completely different from yourself, or someone's the same.
Well,
What would you slap on? Yeah, just one.
I did something funny where I was on podcasts that are very far away from the art form of jazz, So I would take a song, one guy on his one woman, I actually played a Bee Gees song to lead her into the jazz. You know what I mean? And it's a perfectly good song. It's a beautiful song. It's not jazz, but I played and sang it and I led her into that, But I mean, if I was to put on something for me to listen to, oh my God, it would be hard to pick one thing,
Name a couple. It's not a big deal. Just a couple, but just just
well,
name. Yeah,
I used to love, like if you want to talk about some of the old guys, there's a Chick Corea record I used to like when I was a kid a lot, and I would listen to it at any time. It's called "Where Have I Known You Before."
Okay.
If you want to talk about a fusion, like I think you mentioned fusion earlier. I would say that's a great record for jazz fusion. Where Have I Known You Before by Chick Corea. Or if you want to talk rock that led into jazz, Caravanserai was a Santana record that kind of, if you listen to that, you kind of hear the what is it, the spiritual essence that's leading into jazz fusion.
I have some. What is it? The Idris Muhammad. That's a fun crab.
Idris
apple
Muhammad.
Song.
What?
That's a fun. Crab Apple's a fun song. I'm looking for one of the songs that I really like. I want to see if I could play it. I don't know if you could hear it.
Did you know that I played with Idris Muhammad?
I'm a DJ, so I'm a fan of music. You know what I mean? So I just love music. So honestly, I'd be listening to the stuff you was playing, like that sounds so like there's so many like rap songs that have sampled exactly that type of thing.
Wow.
Have you seen some of my videos? Like I have a
No, I'd
lot of
love to.
I just have a lot of like old school funk. What was the sample that was used for one of this one song? Well, I'm looking for right now. Um, Crap, I can't even remember. I'm all burnt to a crisp. But yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Play with Idris Muhammad. That's amazing. Yeah,
I did
you're
play with
yeah.
Idris Muhammad. Idris Muhammad, when I went on 9/11, I was living at 105 East 10th Street, apartment 5A. Idris Muhammad was living at 107 East 10th Street, apartment 5A.
Okay. Let me see if I could
So,
actually play something from Idris, just so so my audience can hear it. I mean, yeah.
sure,
Uh, can you hear that?
I can't, but
Okay, well, that's the Crabapple song. Ooh, that song is so tight. Yeah, Idris Muhammad, Crabapple. Look it up. It's
I
such a funky
will.
groove
I
right
couldn't
there.
hear
Yeah.
it, but
I'll put the link in the. Well, yeah. Actually, if I hooked up the turntables, but they're down right now, I'll put a I'll put a link to it in the YouTube. Yeah, right here. I'll put a link to it.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, I was
Go
going to
ahead.
ask you a question.
Yeah.
If I had a question for you, it would be looking at Jazz for Peace. What are some of the things? Because I know you agree with so many things. What would be something that you maybe didn't agree with?
Um. Tell you the truth, at this time, I have no real criticisms.
Okay, I was
I
just
just want to.
curious.
Well, the thing is that my next step would be to really try to to maybe do an event with y'all. Right, I'm actually excited about it. I got to find out how if we can actually put that into implementation. The idea of itself is really, of course, I like peace. I'm hoping to put my own unique spin on it. Right. Let's see if you would be down for this. Right, because you haven't said no to anything I've said yet. So why would I fight? But
Try.
As a Korean American, I was actually ran away from home at the age of 16 due to the extreme amount of violence that I faced as a child, which is the after effect of the war. Also, a lot of things I don't see in the present talk about the anti-war movement is when you pull out of those countries, what gets left behind, right? We actually see the results of what's going on in Afghanistan. We pull out, and the people there are unhappy, right? Yeah, they say peace, 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 but then, right, people that have been in those countries that have infected, like Afghanistan or people like Korea or Vietnam, we have very interesting perspectives to tell you like how you can maintain that peace in that region, and what caused that problem in the first place, and talking about the people that are affected, right? I see a bunch of celebrities on stage, right? Yeah, and right, their experience with war just isn't the same. You get what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that what's really cool is that uh this organization, Jazz for Peace, which I love jazz too, by the way, right, could
Mhm.
also be a way to bring that message out, and also to basically fuse with the urban community. Wu Tang actually came out against Rage Against the War Machine. I don't know how you feel about it, right? On
Uh-huh.
its principle, it's nice, but unfortunately, some of the issues that I talked about right there were concerning. And Wu Tang said that they also didn't support for that reason. But you could be a great bridge through your music, right?
Right.
Once again, music is a universal, and you're just
Right.
really good. You're just really good.
Mhm.
So if someone really likes music, any producer would just salivate at the chance to get you in the studio. Or I'm gonna have to take the music was coming through streaming, so I'm gonna try to beef it up a little bit, raise up the bass and play with the EQ a little bit, and enhance a little bit, and then drop in my video with the full what it deserves. That was incredible, man. I really appreciate it. That music was great, man. So no one can deny that, and you're such an asset to the movement. Anybody who worked with you, I'm just happy to. So if you said no, right, then we would have a problem, right? I'd be like, oh man, that's really disappointing, right? Yeah, but hopefully you say yes, and we have some
Listen,
productive stuff going on.
what I got to tell you is we have a real simple, easy ABC steps for Jazz for Peace event confirmation. So we
Oh
don't
my god, you
really
have a
say,
grant! Holy crap! Yeah. Oh, I'm fine
yeah.
for that.
And
Yeah.
you know what? If you go back to that fall 23 page,
Okay.
at the top of the page, you should see something where it says Rick Delarada reveals amazing grant secret or something like that. What does that say?
I'm going there right now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, did you get a chance to look up the crab apple?
I need to do
Let's
that. Maybe I can do that on my
open in
phone.
another window. It's so dope. I want you to hear it.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. Yeah. I think you know the groove though. It's so catchy.
Wow. I have to do that because I had um Idris Muhammad is from New
Oh
Orleans.
yeah, let me put it on the phone. I'll put it on the phone. I'll put it on the mic. Oh, this song is hot, man. One day, also like remember CTI Jazz All Stars? I love that record series. And also Blue Note has some dope recordings. Maybe you know some good jazz labels. As a DJ, I'm always looking to try to find like
Sure.
those hot jams. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro. Oh, I got to see was it Yellow Jackets at where is it at one of those Mohegan Sun. That was cool.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah,
It's funky as hell. I mean,
I
it's
love it.
insane, insanely funky.
That's a hit right there. There's no question. That's a super
I
hit.
played with Idris in Dusseldorf, Germany.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. One day, one day I'll hook up the turntables. We'll just like maybe we jam together. I don't have it hooked up right now, but that would be cool to do turntables. I do violin too, but you're on another level, like no question. But it would just be fun to jam with you, man. But
Sure.
let's do some live events. Let's do Jazz for Peace. You're amazing. This is a great time before the 24 election cycle. We once again, I'm actually working with a 5-time former elected, no, I'm sorry, 3-time New Hampshire state elected official. He's actually now in North Carolina trying to get people together, candidates together to agree on certain things before the election cycle, so we can get those things. I also working with a move to amend in Convention of States. They're working to get an amendment. They're more than halfway that they need of states to agree to actually make an amendment to the Constitution. So Jazz for Peace. What if we had an amendment for peace? What that would be sick, right? Yeah. So that could be a real, with all these candidates running the 24 election cycle, we could be a unifying. I swear to God, they shut out the Unified Platform for 22, but this is our second go around, and we learned everything. And I have new, better, stronger allies. Yo, what's up? We're coming back harder and better. Yeah. Yo, I'm really excited, man.
Great. Great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on with Idris for See, I mean, the only thing is, we're talking about things that each one of them deserves each topic deserves an hour. That's the problem. But Idris is so amazing. It's so amazing that you are hip to him, and that this crabapple thing is absolutely that's Idris on steroids. That tune, you know what I mean? It's
I
just
gotta. Yeah, I gotta
it's so
appreciate.
fat. It's just the pocket is insane. And I got to be on a plane with him for 9 hours all the way to Germany.
You've been with many artists. You yourself are that level. You are that level. Like there's just no question, right? Yeah, Idris is dope. You're definitely in that. I could hear it. You're in that realm. So, yo, man, I'm just honored to just even be here with you. I actually got to be at an event with Roy Ayers.
Wow.
I was actually a dragon dance, and we took a picture. I don't know if I still have that anymore. But yeah, man, yo, like I really just respect the style of music so much, and I love it so much for real. Yeah, so I really appreciate you for real.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, I'm psyched because who the hell knows? Hopefully, it can lead to a lot of interesting projects that make a difference in a lot of people's lives. Give people positivity, and just get us going in the right direction.
Yeah, I hope so. That's really that's the whole dream right there. Yeah, Eddie Henderson, I do like some of his stuff. Yeah, he was.
Oh shit! Wow, I know Eddie Henderson, man. I was, I used to play with this guy that was real good friends with him at a French restaurant on 8th Avenue and 14th Street, and we were there once a week, and every week Eddie would come by with his horn and just blow with us, And next thing I know, I'm on these wild, car rides, going over bridges, hanging out with them, talking about all this stuff. And, these guys talk, and it's like me now, the people, all these stories I have,
what about Nick Ingman?
Nick Ingman?
Yeah, check out this song called Under Pressure by Nick Ingman. Yo, it's so hot.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that name.
Yo, you're gonna love this one, yeah? Oh, hold up. Yeah, it's I put it in the chat right there. Yo, check this out on your phone. Yo, this song is crazy.
All right. Nick Ingman. All right.
I gotta figure out on by the way, if you know StreamYard, please I'm gonna look it up, but I don't know how to share things or how to share music and stuff on StreamYard.
Okay, yeah. I've been on a number of StreamYard podcasts, but I never really learned how to do much with it. I can probably just look up this name, Nick Ingman, Ingman, right?
Yeah, yep. And then Under
And is there a
Pressure. That
specific
song is a
tune?
hot one. Yeah, Under Pressure.
Okay, okay. Under Pressure.
Yeah, wait till you hear this come in. Oh, this is so sick. This was used on I think it was called Coming of Age by Jay-Z. That was used for this track. Coming in. Oh snap. It's real simple, but oh man, yeah, that's a deep groove. Yo.
Wow. So it's an instrumental tune, huh?
Yeah, like it's cool. Like, yeah, hit me with some jams to listen to when I'm I can't wait to listen to some new tunes. I'm sure it could turn me on to a whole world of new music, man. I'm about that life. I'm a DJ. I love to just listen to music, man.
Oh, great. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I can't wait to listen to some more of your stuff, man. I'm gonna check it out. You know what I mean? Rick Della Rada, you're writing the type of stuff that I'd like to listen to for real.
Okay, great. And like I said, all those podcasts, I perform something different. Any podcast you click on, you'll hear something completely different than what I played for you just now. And
Yeah.
let's create some stuff. Let's put out new shit.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right,
Yeah.
my pleasure.
God bless, brother. Okay, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna end the broadcast and